Hi YouTube. Today for lunch we are having millet with butternut squash, and I am going to make a butternut squash, spinach, and cheese crustless quiche. So the first thing we need to do is heat up a pan with a few tablespoons of olive oil, because what we're going to do is we're going to saute the millet for just a little bit. For those of you who don't know what millet is a whole grain, and it basically, it's very similar. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very similar to couscous, and if you look really, really closely at it, it's got like a little black dot in it, just right in the center, like a little eye. And basically you need to rehydrate it. So while this oil is heating, I am going to measure out 2 cups of millet to saute and brown. And if you're using olive oil like I am, the last thing you want to do is heat up that oil too much, because then it'll just be awful. It'll just add a bitterness to your dish that you don't want. So here's 1 cup. Grab the other one. And here is a 2nd cup. And then basically you're going to toast it. You can toast in butter and canola or olive oil. Just don't use a lot of oil in proportion to, you don't want it to be greasy. You don't want to weigh it down. Let me turn down this heat. You want to toast it slowly, but I mean, you don't want to toast it and walk, you don't want to leave it on the fire and walk away from it either. So basically it will start to change color. Some of the grains will turn more golden, some will turn orange. This I bought from Sprouts, and it is organic, and I took every precaution so that I would not need to rinse it, but I did buy it in bulk. Sometimes when you buy whole millet in bulk, you have to rinse it, but this needed no rinsing. So I am going to let this toast for just a second, and then what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start my crustless quiche. So basically, for the crustless quiche, what you want to do is, let me move you. There we go. The pan doesn't have to be hot or anything, but basically I'm just going to take a dozen eggs that I have beaten up a little bit, and then I am going to take, let's see, I've got some heavy cream and some milk here. So basically you're kind of going to make a custard, sort of. So for 12 eggs, I'm going to use 4.5 cups of liquid. So 4.5 cups of liquid, that is a quart, right? So, well, it's a little over a quart. And a quart is, let's see, a quart is 16 ounces, I think. And my proper measuring cup is dirty. Hold on just a second, you guys. Okay, my bad. A proper quart is 32 ounces. So I'm just going to use, I guess, half of a container of heavy cream. Let's see if I can get that in the shot. Half a container of heavy cream. And then I'm going to go the rest of the way up with milk. This is just an old yogurt container. I'm going to add the cream and milk mixture, because you're basically going to make a custard. And then I am going to give the millet a stir while that is slowly toasting. Oh, it smells really, really wonderful. And I find that a lot of people don't want to cook with whole grain because they think, oh my God, it's going to be horrible. Oh my God, vegan food. Oh my God, whole grains, it's going to taste bad. Oh, yep, some of these are turning golden, and it looks really good. So basically, from here, you can add whatever you like. going to add a fistful of parsley. Let me see, I've got some dehydrated, you know, I knew y'all were coming. I knew I was going to be here, but I got a visitor, spur of the moment, and I forgot to prep. And I just started just a couple of hands full of dehydrated chives. I forgot to do my prep, and I answered the door, and we sat down and got to talking. And I'm going to go ahead and add maybe a tablespoon and a half of salt. And my pepper is MIA. Just add some pepper. Basically, you season this mixture to your liking. And I am going to add some tomato. I'm going to add some onion and garlic that I sauteed the other day. Give me a second. I'm stirring the millet so it doesn't burn here. Oh my goodness. Got the onion and the garlic. And then I'm going to add the butternut squash that I have cubed. And then, simply because I have it open, I am going to go ahead and add just some fresh, pre-washed adult spinach. I say adult spinach because there is baby spinach. And now I am going to I'm going to mix it up just a little bit here. And then what I'm going to do is make sure I to get that butternut kind of evenly distributed in there. And go ahead and, as of right now, preheat your oven to 375. You're going to cook this to 30 to 45 minutes, however, you know, you like it. I am going to add just a variety of cheeses here. Add a little Parmesan. And then I think today I am going to shred some Munster because that's what I have. So I will meet you back here in just a second after I shred up this Munster. Okay, and this has been toasting on extremely low heat, and I have got some color. You don't want to go too overboard with the color on the millet, but I am going to add a small diced onion. There's a small onion cut into small dice. And I'm just going to saute that all together. And I'm going to up the heat by just a little bit. It's almost the same method as sauteing your rice for Spanish rice, you know, for the Mexican rice. You just want to get a little bit of color to add that toastiness. And I'm going to add a couple of cloves of minced garlic. Because it is, for the most part, a pretty bland food. It's up to you to find helpful ways to flavor it. You can add pre-cooked vegetables to it. Let's see. You know, and just have like an all-in-one deal, because this is going to puff up nicely. It's going to get large and it's going to bulk up. And this is, you know, lately there's been whole grains, especially whole wheat. Millet is not whole wheat. I'm not exactly sure what millet is, but I know it's a whole grain, and my family loves it. But they've been saying a lot of bad things lately about wheat. How it doesn't, how it's filler and it's fluff and it's not good, and the way they're raising it now is not good, and you shouldn't eat it. Well, I highly disagree. And that it makes you hungrier, that it's almost as bad as fast food. And I couldn't believe that I was listening to the guy, I don't remember if it was on The View or The Chew or Good Morning America, where I just heard them saying all this nonsense, and I'm like, when have whole grains ever been bad for anybody? I mean, of course I know with the way they're growing stuff now, it may not be the peak of what it used to be, but, and let's see, these onions are now getting translucent and shiny. So I am going to grab some boiling hot chicken broth. Basically, to 2 cups of millet, you're going to add 2 cups of chicken stock. And then, let's see, you know what? I'm going to add the rest of the butternut squash to that. Well, just a little, not a lot. Okay. You get just a little to tie it in with the crustless quiche. Okay, and then you are going to want to add, let's see, at this point, nothing. I can't, here it is. At this point, you're going to want to keep it low, cover it, and yeah, right now I'm on a low, like kind of like right before medium. And after you add that 2 cups of broth, you are going to set the timer for 30 minutes. And to the crustless quiche, I am going to add 2 cups of shredded mozzarella, just because my kids like cheese. We all like cheese. And cheese is the only way to get me to eat eggs. Well, there's 2 ways to get me to eat eggs. Highly covered in cheese, and the other way is poached, like big time, like seriously, almost raw. So I like just a very soft poach on my eggs. So we have a hard time going out places to eat for brunch, because I won't eat eggs. So just kind of press the cheese in. And so while the butternut millet is cooking, I am going to pop the crustless quiche into the 375, sorry about that, guys, seasickness. I'm going to put the crustless quiche into a 375 oven for 30 to 45 minutes. So if all goes well, the millet will be ready at the same time as the quiche, and we'll be good to go. Hi, I'm a dumbass. You are not supposed to open up and peek at your millet, but I did, and I realized that I had the flame up too high, and I am out of liquid. I should not be. So what I am going to do is, because, yeah, see, it's still raw. It should not crunch under your tooth. So I'm just going to take a measuring cup and add 1 cup of chicken broth, reduce that heat, push down the sides, get all that millet back in the chicken broth, cover, no peeking, and then let it go until that timer goes off, and see if it is soft to the bite when the timer goes off. Okie dokie, and that timer's going off. So let's check it out. Let's check and see. Let's check on our quiche. Oh yeah, that's still really, really watery. Let me pull you in closer. Y'all are gonna know. I know y'all are smart. Y'all are gonna know that that's wrong. Not wrong, but I mean, watch. Let me. You see that? I don't know if you can see that jiggle. That's too much jiggle. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the quiche in for another. You know what? Let me try to shake it for you from this angle. You see that? That's not even anywhere near done, which is odd because I did preheat my oven. And get y'all back up here. Okay. So that's going to go in for another 15. And I will lean across you yet again and set the timer for that 15. And let us check our millet. Haha, there you go. And that's the way millet should look. And it's going to be as soft as properly cooked rice. It's going to be as soft as couscous. I guess you could say, if you've never had millet or couscous before, that that it should taste like, it should be of the consistency of soft rice. Let me try it. Very good. It's very soft and it's actually quite gorgeous. What I am going to do, however, is I am going to throw a little bit of raw olive oil on here, because in maybe just a tablespoon total, just for some flavor. And I am also going to toss in some Parmesan. All of the mixes, like when you go to buy like millet mix or Parmesan mix or whatever, they all charge a little bit extra because it comes with olive oil and Parmesan cheese in it. Why bother? Okay, and if at this point, you know, you want to add more salt or pepper or jalapeno or cilantro, go ahead. You can, I have a recipe, excuse me, couscous, I mean millet. That's what I get for trying to talk with food in my mouth. I do have a recipe already up for tabbouleh, which is basically a Mediterranean couscous salad, which can be served at room temperature. You can also do the you can also cook millet like couscous. So basically just close it back up and we'll meet you back here in 15 minutes and check on that quiche. All right, and the timer's going off. Let's check that quiche. All right. Now, it's got a little movement to it, but that's just like the natural flow of the egg. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's, can y'all see that? Hold on and I'll get closer in. And now you have to remember that eggs continue to cook even after you've taken them out of the oven and let them sit. That is going to be so good. Now, the beautiful thing about both of these dishes, whether you're using quinoa or couscous or millet or bulgur wheat, or even if you even make a barley salad, quiche can be served at room temperature. All of the whole grains, couscous, millet, barley, can all also be served at room temperature. So basically, it is 11:30 in the afternoon, and I can just let this, you know what? I can turn off the oven and let both of these dishes sit here until the kids get home from school. And when it's time for dinner at 5 o'clock, you know, they can have a nice, hearty, filling dinner at room temperature. And nobody's got to wait, because you know how they come home from school. And I've got how many teenagers? Well, Ben is 20, John is 18. You know, I've got 4 kids that are, let's see, I've got 3 out of 4 that are still teenagers and living in the house. The others just come. They just come and, you know, and bring friends in droves sometimes. So there always has to be plenty of stick to your ribs food on hand. But I mean, they can sit down and eat this, and it's quick, it's simple, it's fast, and it's not really messy. I mean, you could, you know, if this, when this finally finishes setting up, you can even just give somebody a wedge of it, cut it like a pizza, give somebody a wedge of it, serve it on a napkin, and go outside. You know, the whole grain, on the other hand, the millet, no, you need a bowl and a fork or a spoon for that. So, but like I always say, eating at home, you need to do it more.